Welcome back to another episode of the Preacher and the Prodigy. It is week one officially for our picks for the season. Is coming back. We got great games for week one. It's going to be almost a whole week of college football.
Maybe recency biases, but I don't remember a week one with this many great kind of must-see games.
Yeah, it's going to be full week of football. It's going to go from very subtle games from Wednesday all the way at climax at Saturday, and then going back down to Monday.
We got college football on Wednesday. We got college football on Thursday. We got college football on Friday. We got college football on Saturday. We got college football on Sunday, and we got college football on Monday. So it's 6 straight days
football
of decent matchups. Even some of these ones that we're not going to talk about. Some of these games like UCF against Boise. There's some curb appeal for that, Which one of the games that you were choosing between UCLA and LSU, we're not even going to pick, but that's going to be interesting with how UCLA looked.
There's going to be a lot of games that can be very interesting. Some of these games could go into third overtime.
Yeah.
But we don't pick them. That's how good this slate is.
Yeah. So we're 0-0 on the year. You had a little fun with the first couple games. More fun.
I got both of them right, too.
More fun than Adrian Martinez probably had.
Yep.
So congratulations to Bert Bielema for the big win. But we're 0-0. Those games, that was just like the practice frame in bowling. This is for real. Let's go. 5 games, week one.
Number 1 game, 5th best game, in my opinion. We got number 23, Louisiana, at number 21, Texas, in Austin. Game is midday. It's going to be Texas -8. Who are you taking?
Well, this is one of those games that maybe is more attractive because of what happened last year. Remember, the Cajuns took down Iowa State in a season where Iowa State turned out to be pretty good. So maybe people are thinking a little bit too highly of Louisiana. I don't think Texas is going to get there right away. This whole idea is Texas back. I don't think Texas is back this year.
Years ago.
I think that they're going to be pretty good, though. And Bijan Robinson is a good guy to lean on when you don't know what to do. Also, I'm just not sure. Have you heard how the hurricane has impacted Louisiana or anything? It's
been wrecking a lot of people.
Yeah, it sounds like LSU might have moved over to Houston to do some of the week training. So anyway, it could have impacted LSU. I'm going to take Texas in this one to win by 10. I think this is a game in which Sarkisian uses his best stuff to try to get off to a good start. I think this is like a 35-24 type game.
I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to take Louisiana win this game outright.
Oh, my.
I think they're highly underrated. You see what they did to Iowa State last year, beat them by 17.
Long time ago.
And Iowa State turned out to be amazing. I know, but they got a lot of guys coming back. Maybe 2 guys that they lost that were important to the team, both running backs.
We disagree.
But, Louisiana, they have, pretty sure Levi Lewis, a left-handed, speedy quarterback, can do it all. They have an incredible defense. They're going to challenge Coastal Carolina and Boise State and UCF to be one of the top teams in the group of 5, and I'm going to take them to win because Texas, even with Sarkisian, it's his first game. Maybe he has to figure things out. Maybe he has to figure out the right schemes against this team. It's surprising.
Look, Jericho, I will be rooting like crazy for the Ragin' Cajuns. Don't get me wrong. I have an irrational dislike of the Texas football team. It's irrational because I like Matthew McConaughey as an actor and as a human. But I do not like Texas. I'll be going for Louisiana. Texas wins by 11.
Louisiana's going to cover this one. Number 4 game is going to be number 19 Penn State at Wisconsin. 11 o'clock game. It's going to be Wisconsin by 5.5. I honestly am going to take Wisconsin. I think if it's at Wisconsin, at Camp Randall, I think the running game, as always, time of possession is always going to be on Wisconsin's side. I think it's going to be a low scoring, maybe 24-17, 24-14 type game.
Yeah, I agree.
But, if Penn State's not in a whiteout, it's do or die for them.
Yeah, so again, the way these teams finished last year, they finished in very different trajectories. Penn State pulled out of the 0-5 start to win their last 4 games, I believe. Wisconsin didn't look good down the stretch. Remember that game against Indiana where they only got 6 points and Graham Mertz couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. I'm with you. I'm going to agree. I think Wisconsin does win this game and does cover because I think that those things after last year, again, I just don't think they're going to carry over very well. Big game, James Franklin. This does not feel like one that he wins. I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to take Wisconsin to win by a similar score. I'm going to say 30-23, something like that.
Okay, our number 3 game to you Iowa fans in Kinnick Stadium. We have the Iowa Hawkeyes against the number 17 out of the blue last year, come and surprised a heck ton of people. Indiana
A
Hoosiers.
heck ton. Wow.
A lot of people.
Was that the metric system or not?
I don't know. It's just a lot of people. The line on this game is Iowa by 3. I think that's a very good line, knowing in Iowa's going to be a low-scoring game. Who are you taking?
What time is this game kicking at? Is it a 2:30 game?
Yeah, I think it's 2:30
evening game.
Not evening. I think it's a 3:30 game.
Kinnick at night. I think that might. But I agree with you. It feels like a good line. I mean, I wouldn't touch this line because I think that's so dialed in. Forced to choose, though, I'm going to go with Iowa. I like both of these teams. I like both of these teams better than the teams we mentioned before. I like Indiana and I like Iowa better than I like Penn State and I like Wisconsin. I think both of them are going to have a really strong season. He's a big Tom Allen fan. But I have Iowa in my top 10. If you saw the season preview, I have Iowa ranked number 7. I'm going to take Iowa in this game. And I just think that Iowa has enough that grinding offense with Spencer Petras to just keep the Indiana offense with Michael Penix off the field. Penix also has kind of a history of getting knocked around a little bit, and Iowa will come get you. Watch out for Van Valkenburg and those boys. I'm going to take Iowa to win this game. Let's go a weird number. Let's go 19-14.
That seems like what's gonna be. I'm gonna take Iowa too. I mean, if it's Indiana or a road game, you can't really assume they're gonna do so much if it's a good team, and if it's at Kinnick Stadium.
Kinnick Stadium is going to be rocking, right?
Is.
I mean, after a year without fans,
I think Tyler Goodson
is
his top 10 national running back. Spencer Petras looking for a bounce back year after a solid but below expectations year last year after Nate Stanley left. I'm going to take Iowa to win this game. Yeah, a weird score like 23 to probably 16 or something like that.
Okay.
But I'm going to take the Hawkeyes.
All right, so 2 we agree, 1 we disagree. Game 4. Rank number 2.
Yes, Game 4 we have the number 14 Miami Hurricanes with De'Ara King, who...
It just strikes me, by the way, we're not even doing Notre Dame, Florida State.
We aren't. That's how good these games are.
Crazy.
Going up against the number 1 reigning national champions, Alabama Crimson Tide.
This game in Coral Gables?
This game is...
Or is it a neutral site?
It's neutral. I think it's in Atlanta, Georgia, Mercedes-Benz.
Which tells me it's probably going to be 80% Bama fans.
Yeah, it's 7 national championships for Nick Saban. Losing a lot of guys. They always lose guys every year, but that doesn't matter to them. They still come back, find themselves in a national championship situation. Who are you taking? Oh, by the way, the line is 19.5.
I think it's your turn to go first.
Okay, I'll go. I gotta go Bama. I mean, part of me wants me to pick Miami because 19.5 is a lot.
It's expensive. It's expensive for the opening game.
But after what Alabama did last year, and they got Bryce Young, who could be incredible. They reload. They got Brian Harris, Robinson Jr.
Christian Harris. I mean,
they got a lot of people coming back, but a lot of people leaving. I gotta take Bama. They're the reigning national champs, and I'm gonna say this game's gonna be like a 48 to maybe, I don't know, 48 to probably 21 type of game.
Yeah. See, I'm going to agree with you again. I wish we disagreed more, but I see this being one of those things where Miami comes out with energy behind De'Ara King. I can see a first quarter 78-yard touchdown ring for De'Ara King. Suddenly people tune in, they get interested. And then you start doing some other things in the course of the day, and then suddenly there's an ESPN close game alert, and it says, end of the third quarter, it's 34-24 Bama. And people turn it on, and once they turn it on, third of the fourth quarter, suddenly Alabama just does what they do, and like you said, a couple of quick touchdowns, and suddenly it's 48, it's 51. And so it seems like a lot of points for an opening game, even for Alabama. It seems 19.5 seems like a lot, but they're the champs. I think that they deserve that respect, and I just don't know enough about how Miami's roster is constituted. A lot of these opening season games, teams go to play against Alabama. I mean, remember USC a few years ago, Michigan, and they just these out of conference teams, they just get the crap beat out of them by Alabama. I think I might have said Indiana, by Alabama, and so I'm taking Bama.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. So we have 3 agree, 1 disagree. Coming to our last game of the week, number 5 Georgia, neutral game against number 3 Clemson, losing the number 1 pick overall.
This is in Charlotte, right?
I believe so.
So it's more in Clemson territory than Georgia territory.
It is. So this used to be a rivalry back in the day when they were in the same conference. They're really close together. Yep. For Georgia, this is to prove that they are a top 4 type of team. If they win this game, they're gonna be trying to be known as one of the top 3 best teams in America. And Clemson, even after losing Travis Etienne and Trevor Lawrence, they have Justin Ross coming back, who is one of the best receivers in the nation. So this game could go either way. It's coin flip.
What's the line on
line is 3 again. So
3 for the Tigers.
3 for the Tigers. I gotta. I'll let you go first. I want to hear what.
Well, I think this is going to be a great game, and again, I think that the odds makers sense that too. I think it's a great matchup on paper. I think it's going to be a ton of fun game. This is a border game. A lot of these kids know each other. I'm gonna go Georgia, and I think that this is the kind of thing where Clemson, maybe Clemson does win by a point or two. Maybe I think it's going to be a game in the 30s. I don't think it's going to be a game in the 40s. I don't think it's going to be a game in the 20s.
So like you're feeling like a 36-35 type of game.
I think that's something, but I can see Georgia winning outright too. I think that the talent that Kirby Smart has amassed in Georgia is, at least according to the recruiting rankings, it's even a little better than the stuff that what Dabo's put together. I think DJU is fantastic. I think he's going to have a good game. But again, I think JT Daniels can outsling him over the course of 60 minutes.
It's going to be hard to do.
Yeah. But I'm going with Georgia, and I wouldn't be surprised to see if they went outright, but I'm going to take that 3-point buffer as well. Give me Georgia.
I could have gone either way, but since you took Georgia, I think I'm going to take Clemson. Like you said, Georgia's got a lot of talent on the offensive side. I think they're going to be more of a passing team than what most people expect. Their defense, the rushing defense, is going to be one of the best in the nation, as always. But Clemson, I think this is going to be a really close game. Like you said, a game for the ages, maybe one of the best kickoff games, maybe of all time in recent memory. But I'm going to take Clemson barely. I'm going to take them to win by 4. I'm going to take Clemson cover. I think it's going to be like a 38-34 kind of game where Georgia is down maybe 10 points and they come back, make things interesting, and then Clemson gets a late touchdown and that puts the game away.
Yeah. There's some movement in who college football ranking, kind of overall program prestige ranking 6 through 10 are. I mean, you've got Penn State in there, you got LSU, you've got A&M, teams like that. But the top 5 is just locked in. Those top 5 teams, Bama, Clemson, Georgia, Ohio State, and Oklahoma, they're atop the recruiting rankings. They're atop the rankings at the end of the year. Maybe Notre Dame's in that next group too. But to see 2 of those top 5 is a big, big opening weekend. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Must-see TV. We're going to disagree on that. I'm taking Georgia. So,
yeah,
we disagree on 2 games, and we agree on 3. So, one way or the other, there could be a 2-game spread at the most between us at the end of week 1.
and I'm gonna try to continue my incredible dominance. I probably had 60%
It's
last
a new
year.
season. Last year with COVID didn't count. It's a new
Okay,
season.
fine. I'm Prodigy. He's Preacher, kind of out of order. Till next time, peace.
He must become greater. I must become less. Peace.